Thanks for checking out the video. My name's Andrew. I'm going to be telling you my story about how I turned my hobby into my side business. And if you've seen my channel before and know anything about me, you know that I'm really into architecture and into 3D printing. So architecture is what I do for my 9-to-5 job. That's what I do full time. But 3D printing is what I do on the weekends. It's kind of just what I do for fun as my hobby, but now I'm actually starting to make some money with it. So I figured I'd make a YouTube video and kind of show my process with it. And please remember, if you like the video, please give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel. I've got 3D printing projects, DIY videos going on now, and would really help me out if you supported the channel. So basically, when I was in architecture school, there was a 3D printer on campus, but there was only one in the whole building serving the whole school. So it was really hard to get a time slot, and I always wanted to do more than just make architecture models with the 3D printer. So I saved up enough money at the time. This was I want to say 7 or 8 years ago when I first bought my 3D printer. And at the time it was $500 for a DaVinci XYZ printer. And they still have DaVinci printers out there, but they're not as common anymore. I mean, there's a lot more options with 3D printers now, and the prices have come down a lot in costs. But basically, I saved up enough money after working my part-time jobs for summers and winters when I was off from school. And when I bought the printer, I was all gung-ho on learning it. It was something brand new with this fresh technology. I just had to learn everything about it. So, and what was unique about it was because at the time there wasn't a lot of people into 3D printing. So I was one of the go-to people for if somebody wanted something printed, they knew who to come to. They knew that I knew a lot about 3D printing. And I still have people coming to me today hey, I've got a question on this. What do you think about that? But anyways, back to how I turned that hobby into a side business. First, I started off by selling my printed models to my family, my friends, people who were asking about it. They were curious. And I even started selling some in school because like I said, the 3D printer on campus, there was only one, and we had 30 plus kids in our class who all wanted something printed, and not necessarily even school related. They just had fun things that they were thinking of, so they came to me instead of printing that out on the school's campus. So that was kind of my first way of making money with 3D printing. But then as I started to grow, I learned how to 3D model and make my own models, and that was really what started to generate some income once I learned how to make my own designs. And then also someone came to me and they said, hey, I need a replacement part for this piece, but they don't make it anymore. Would you be able to recreate it, and how much would you charge for that? So 3D printing in that sense helped me get those kind of jobs where it's not necessarily 3D printing but also 3D modeling. So there are two ways of generating income in that sense. And then once I started getting comfortable with that, I listed my services online, on Upwork. You can list yourself as a designer and people can contact you, or you can send out bids on jobs or for proposals that people have put up on the website. And then you get to work on all different types of projects. I worked on not things even necessarily architecture related, but I worked on fashion, jewelry, all different kinds of projects would show up on this website. So I would say 3D printing definitely opened up the doors for that, because people saw, okay, he has a design background, he could show some of his portfolio with some of the work there. And I made a couple grand during school doing Upwork. Another method that I was making money with 3D printing was opening up an Etsy shop and making a couple sales through that. That was something that I want to get kind of more into. And I feel with Etsy, it's kind of a niche market where you kind of have to have a good following or really attractive photos to be able to get into the marketplace of Etsy. And through Etsy, I was pretty much mainly just selling to my family and friends through Etsy because it had a platform where you could list products. But that's something I'm also looking into now, of making more money online in that sense. And another method that I started to make money with 3D printing was actually entering design competitions and uploading my models online for free. And my mini factory had actually reached out to me when they were first growing. They were a pretty new company at the time, but they liked my models that I was posting on Thingiverse, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, would you want to come on as an exclusive designer? You can upload, if you just upload your models to my mini factory, then we'll pay you per month, depending on how many downloads you would get. So it was pretty small amount of per download, like a couple cents per download, but it was pretty good money because it's just side passive income. It's stuff that models that I was creating for fun, really, and then posting online for free. So being able to get paid for something that's free is amazing, you know. They don't offer that program anymore. I think it was really just for the first adopters in that program when they were reaching out to people to really push the program. But I was happy to be a part of that, and I'm sure there's other similar programs out there that you could join that pay you royalties or selling files online, you know. Because the way that I've really been making money is with posting the models for free, but then making money through the royalties. And right now I'm actually starting to make some money through posting on Instagram. You know, I'll post a picture of one of my projects, and then I'll get DMs like, hey, I have this idea in mind, can you help me with it? And that's just another way of getting your name out there for people, is posting online on social media. You can really gain some traction once you get followers of people outside of your bubble. Once they see that, they can share it, they can comment on it, and you just get more exposure to potential clients and making more money. So there are a couple different ways that I charge for 3D printing. I'll charge if it's just a regular print, like they already have the file ready and they just want me to print it. I'll charge by the hour, like how long it takes to print the model. But then I'll charge extra if there's a lot of support removal required, or like sanding, or if they wanted it painted, I'll charge extra for it to be painted, because that's taking up more of my time and material. But and then if they also want a 3D model made, I'll do a couple different ways of going about that. Sometimes I'll do a fixed price, where if they'll say, hey, I've got this project and my budget is $500, can you do that for me? And I'll say, okay, yeah, I can work with that budget. Or other times they'll say, I have no clue how much this is going to cost, how much would you charge hourly? So then I'll give them an hourly rate and then say, this is kind of the breakdown. And then there's different ways to go about that. I'll say, but I'll be reasonable with them, you know. I'm not going to be charging them huge amounts of money for something that they just wanted as a fun project, you know. And so yeah, those are just a couple different ways that I've started to make money with 3D printing. And I've even like got a whole separate bank account set up now, and I'm starting to make it legit, you know, now that I'm generating income with it. And yeah, I mean, that would be my suggestion to you, is just to go out there and post on social media, get more exposure, and then learning 3D modeling to help with your 3D printing. Because once you can offer two services, like, hey, I've got 3D modeling skills and 3D printing skills, that just makes you even more marketable and gives you more room to grow in the industry. So if you like the video, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.